creative friends, it's Gwen and I'm back today with another scrapbooking process video. Today's share is episode 26 in the Maggie Holmes Monday shares that I have been doing on Mondays, wee Maggie, and today I'm using Marigold Collection. I have a plan too. I want to use up some of these tags. A lot of the Maggie Holmes collections have tags in them, and quite often I get to the end of my supplies and I've still got a lot of tags left over. So first things first, I am going to fussy cut out these tags because we are getting them onto this layout. Now you did see there that the tags themselves have a lot of pretty patterns on them. So I am going to make it easy on myself and anchor them all onto a neutral background. This one is baby pink. I've got a pretty floral border and I'm gonna just run them across the page like so. But first, I'm all about them bows. So of course I have to fussy cut out a few of the bows from this pattern paper here. I'm actually going to use these four as a color palette for my layout. See how lovely they go together? So that's going to inspire me with the colors for my page and help me kind of get through all of these embellishments and help me decide what's going to stay and what's not going to stay. I did decide to go ahead with the photo of my daughter in the hat, and I actually found this second one. So I have had a couple of comments on the channel, requests for me to create pages that have more than one photo on them. So I thought this would be a lovely opportunity to do that for you all. They are smaller sized photos. I find for me, when I am scrapping multiple photos, I prefer them to be smaller. So the one on the left there is 3x4, and then the one on the right is slightly smaller than that. I want to say 2x3.5, around that. So that's my strategy for using more than one photo on a layout, especially in a case like this where I was really super keen to use the tags, and I know that the tags are going to take up a lot of space on the page. So I'm not going to want to have these really large photos and then these really large tags and then find that my layout's really full. So my strategy for that is to keep the photos sort of relative in size to the tags. You know, that one at the top there, see how it's almost the same size as the green tag beside it? It's slightly wider, but it's not giant in comparison to the tag. And I find that that's, it kind of makes, it makes the layout look more cohesive, but it also helps me to put it together. So I am just roughly nutting out the position of everything. I am using my T-square ruler though because there's no background pattern. I've got nothing to line anything up with. This is a pretty geometric sort of style page. So if a tag is crooked, then it's going to throw off the balance of everything. So I do want to make sure that everything is nice and straight. And I am using, at this point, I'm using my ATG gun. And I like to do that first. I like to use that first when I'm positioning things because it's pretty easy to reposition them. You can lift things up and replace them if you need to. And then later on in the layout, once I'm really happy with the position of everything, that's when I'll go back and add a more secure glue like a liquid adhesive. So as you can see, the layout's really just running across the center of the page, left to right. There will be a bit of flow that goes from the top left-hand corner down to the right bottom corner. So it's not exactly sort of in the center. But you know what? I just really just let the elements decide that. Once I had positioned my photos, it kind of naturally became that way because I didn't have both of the photos lined up, so they weren't sort of centered along the middle of the page. One of the photos is slightly higher than the other. So you have to work with what you've got. You have to work with where the page is going. I talk about this a little bit on my channel, not trying to force something, but go with the flow of things. I just find that it comes together so much more easily when I do that. And look at me go, getting an extra tag on the layout. This one does end up with 7 on there, which I'm pretty happy with. Nice to get those out of my stash and onto layouts. I don't think I've made very many pages with this collection. This could be only the first or the second. So it was really nice. I've actually kept it out on my desk. I think I'll do another one while the supplies are out because this one was really fun to put together. It's at this point in the process that I can now start working with smaller embellishments. I really have the bones of the layout locked into position, and I like to work sort of largest embellishments to smallest. So these are all the medium-sized ones. I've gone through all of the elements in the collection and only pulled out the ones that I think could work. So as you can see there, it's not left me with a huge selection to choose from, which I like. I get super overwhelmed when I have lots of choices. So when it's a lovely refined selection like this, I find it really works for me. So I am going to just audition a few things. The main thing that I'm looking at this point, especially now that I've done that review of what options I have, I'm really looking at colors. So when I went to position the green bow there, the only tag that was left was that dark blue one, and the dark green on the dark blue was a bit heavy for me. So I did end up switching that out, and I'm so glad I did because the green of the bow on the left there really helps balance out the greens on the page. So we have the green border, we have the green tag at the top, and then we have the green bow on the left and this green camera on the right. So it's sort of, see how that balances out? I've also got quite a few pops of this mustard yellow that I was talking about earlier, but you'll see though, they are spread across the page. All of the mustard is not together. It's balanced out across the page. I am also now going to add this, which is going to become the title for the layout. Initially, I thought From the Heart was going to be the title, but I just felt like it needed a little bit of a full stop. So your eye will naturally read left to right. That's just how it naturally wants to go. So for this layout, I'm making it so that the eye starts with the photo on the top left-hand corner and it will finish the page on the bottom right-hand corner. And I just felt like it needed like an end point. And that's where that So Sweet title is going to end up being. If this is the first time you've heard me talk about flowing clusters and embellishments in this way, I would encourage you to watch a few more of the videos on the channel because I do talk a lot about this. It's a big part of my scrapbooking process. Things are getting serious because I'm gluing stuff down, going to lock everything into position. Really loving how this is looking now. I'm really happy with the balance of the colors, the weight of the embellishments on the layout, and the flow of the page, how it all looks together. Super happy, super glad I did include 2 photos on this one. I feel like it's a better page for that extra photo there. So thank you for that suggestion. And I'm going to call the layout done. If you like the way that I scrapbook or the way that I chat about the way that I scrapbook, I would love it if you give this video a thumbs up. Thanks so much for spending your creative time with me, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, bye!